The case study explains how sculpting PageRank flow can actually harm your SEO. We had been tasked to do a site audit for one of our clients, whereby we had to diagnose where the blocks were coming from and why they weren't appearing in search engine results pages. Once we had started running our checks on the site, we had found that the site's architecture had been set up so strictly that we had to resort to doing manual checks. A big part of Google's algorithm still focuses on the page authority of individual pages. Even though the specific website has been architected in such a way that all pages would still be indexed, the PageRank flow channels were created to point to specific content pages instead of actually having the products themselves rank. Our analysis of their PageRank flow basically pointed to three main tools that they used. Tool number one was the Robots.tx file. This gave bots instructions to actually index product pages, but never to have any PageRank flow through to them. The second tool that they made use of was blocking the actual product pages, but allowing the indexing of content on the content side of the site. Our last finding was that the site made use of HTTPS protocol, which was not standard with pages that are not sales pages. By definition, HTTPS protocols only get used for shopping carts, and they become very limiting for your site's PageRank flow and also for the visibility of those pages in the search engines themselves. They are not considered as good practice for general uses in sections that house content. PageRank flow is still a major part of Google's algorithm, and a major part of this focus is to see where your authority goes from your home page to the smaller pages. Okay, so your home page is mostly the one that ranks because it's mostly the page that gets linked to from other pages, and that is where your PageRank flow comes from. When other pages have their own PageRank flow and they link to you, it seeps through to your website. You can then take that PageRank flow from your home page and actually direct it to the other categories of your website. This then gives these categories the authority to rank themselves over and above having the rankings from your home page. Back to our findings. Point number one, the Robots.txt file commands. Through our analysis, we came to the conclusion that the first and the biggest block actually came from the Robots.txt file. So now the Robots.txt file is a simple text file that sits in your website server, and it basically gives the robots instructions as to which pages they're allowed to crawl, which pages they're not allowed access to, and which pages should be excluded from the search engine results pages altogether. So now the file described how a certain list of bots, level 1, had to index but not give any authority, level 2, to a specific set of pages, level 3. Robots.txt quite simply works on 3 specific levels. In this case, on my clients, the product pages were given permission to be indexed, however, they were given no PageRank flow. The specific sections that were blocked were the products. Products were not to receive any PageRank flow. Content and blogging, they were allowed to have PageRank flow. Shopping cart in itself, it was not allowed to have PageRank flow. Admin and SEO content management files were not allowed to have, and then galleries. So if you look at my diagram, it made sense that what we were looking at is a website where the home page ranked, the content that was created in the blog was ranking, but essentially nothing else. And the reason for that is because the PageRank flew from the home page only to the content section. The reason why this was done is because previous SEO company was selling my client services, and to prove to them the efficacy, it was much easier to show them every time the content came up as opposed to when shopping cart items, product items would rank themselves. In addition to blocking these sections with the Robots.tx, what the site had been built with was the HTTPS secure protocol. So quite obviously, most times we have it applied to the shopping basket. And the shopping basket, the reason behind that is because we don't want the information or the activities that happen within the shopping basket to become apparent on search engine results pages. So additionally to just having that section behind the secure protocol, they also built these following pages in HTTPS, and then had the products section included under HTTPS. So what this does is it doesn't remove these pages from the SERPs, but what it does do is it blocks PageRank flow from flowing from the home page onto any pages in these sections. And again, you would see PageRank flow was allowed to still flow to the content blog section. Again, leaving us with a scenario that blogging content and homepage would rank, but products and shopping basket and admin and CMS and gallery pages won't. We had to design a new PageRank flow architecture with specific tools put in place so we can share the homepage rank with the appropriate pages. So based on our findings, re-scripting the Robots.txt file was necessary. What the client had to do was to rewrite this file. It sits on the server of the website to actually allow bots to start scanning or to start passing PageRank flow to the products pages themselves. There were no additional blocks put in place. However, what we did find was that those product pages had to be re-optimized so that they would be indexed appropriately. I would want to mention that you would still want to block visibility of your admin section, your CMS, your galleries, and your shopping cart. Part number 2 of the process of actually fixing this was that decisions had to be made on which pages would now actually have been given the ability to rank and which pages would be blocked. So in step number 1, we said, well, the Robots.txt had to be re-optimized, and in step number 2 is where we came to the decision of which pages these would be. We would remove the HTTPS protocol from these specific sections so that when they get scanned by bots recognize them as being pages that the home page is sharing PageRank flow with, removing essentially the blocks of PageRank flow and making them all able to rank. Okay? A major part of deciding which pages would get visibility moving forward in terms of PageRank flow was the need to re-optimize content. A major part of previous SEO company strategy was to not optimize the content, but only optimize the content that they had created. We had to do a keyword strategy from scratch. We had to do all the on-page, we had to do all the meta tagging for our products, and basically ensure that now that they do have the PageRank flow and they are being indexed, that they get categorized correctly and people would find them for the terms that they were meant to from the beginning. So a major part of what blocked PageRank flow to the other pages was not actually in fact the Robots.txt file. Even though this is what the previous company had used to control their own rankings, what we had found is that a major player was actually the HTTPS protocol. Where this left us was that any pages that are marked under the HTTPS actually do not allow PageRank flow to flow through them. They were still allowed to be indexed, however, with no authority to back their online credibility. These pages were pretty much indexed with no hopes of ever coming up in search engine results pages. Perhaps as a rule of thumb, with your SEO company, double check what you are actually ranking for and try to ensure that it's more the pages that create your sales as opposed to the ones that are meant to be supporting content.